one of the tools that I like to use is to use samples, but in this case is how to sound design your own kicks. There are a couple of third-party plugins that are really cool when it comes to creating or sound designing your own techno tracks or techno kicks. But in this case, I'm just going to use native plugins from FL Studio. If we go to the drum section here, we have two plugins that could be interesting. One is the Fruity Kick and the other one is the bass drum. So let's open bass drum and then let's open up Fruity Kick also. So as you can see, they are very different, of course, but this one is a little bit more complex, bass drum, and this one is a little bit simpler. So let's see how do they sound like so. Let's put this maybe 127. Okay, this is out of the bat. Let's go with this one and let's see the difference. So right away, I would prefer to use this one. This one sounds more like a techno kick rather than this one. Okay, but we can still try to manipulate this to get a little bit better understanding of this one. So let's see what we have here. We have minimum, maximum, and minimum. So this would be maximum frequency. This will be minimum frequency. Then we have decay, amplitude decay, click, and distortion. So let's remove all of these. Let's hit play. So here will be the maximum frequency. Maybe let's put it there and let's see here. This will be the lowest frequency. Okay, let's play around with the decay. And as you can see here, this one will make the kick lower or higher. Would be nice to have the actual note. Okay, let's add a little bit of click, and let's add a little bit of distortion. So one thing about this one is that I will maybe add some envelope to make it a little bit shorter. Let's add some tension here. Okay. Let's see, man. Let's maybe go it a little bit lower. As you can see, would be a combination of the parameters here and the envelope. So I could use a kick like this very easily. Let's see if we have patterns or some templates. We do have, but again, this would be the way I would do this in combination with the envelope here. The envelope would be something very important to shape how the sound would, how the kick would look like or sound like. With just these knobs here will not be possible to do a very precise job. So this is a little bit less, it's a little bit easier to work with, but a little bit less, what's the word that I'm looking for? A little bit less features. So it has way less features than the bass drum. Let's go to the bass drum now. And let's play around with this. So we have already here some presets that we can have. So we can have high frequency metal, hard clap, and so on, soft clap. And we can play around with attack, decay, sustain, and delay, pitch, stuff like that. So we have this main. Okay, let's see this peak here. The bass. Can make it shorter. Reduce the sampling ratio. This can make the drums or the kick a little bit grittier if you want a more old school type of kick. Let's add a little bit of sub bass. Okay, let's see in this one here. I don't want to have necessarily too much of a click. Maybe there. Let's lower this one. This one is nice because it shows me actually the frequency. So this would be 50 Hertz. And then we can play around with the phasing. And as you can see, we have way more parameters to work with here. And there's a bunch of other kicks here. I actually like this one. We can also, no, actually we can't work with the envelope. So I would have to do something here, or maybe do some sampling and then do the envelope with the kick itself. So as you can see, this is a very comprehensive tool. The idea here is not to actually go through every single parameter here in the bass drum, but as you can hear, it has some really cool patterns that you can start with, or templates, and then we can go around and play with some of the levels here. So let's say I actually like this with a less sampling ratio. So again, this could be how I would do my own kicks, and of course you can play around with the levels. Let me put this at 50. Okay, let's do I actually like this one here, for instance. Yeah, so this would be the first two tools that I would use to make my own techno kicks. Use bass drum or the Fruity Kick, because these tools are really cool to make your own kicks and have your sound. If you don't want to use external sample packs or drum kits, you can just go ahead and use your bass drums, because these also you can have a little bit more control over the frequency, so you can really tune your bass with your kicks, and that can really help bring a lot of power to your bass line and make your bass line a little bit more interesting.